what is up? It's Trusty Ape, impromptu stream. I'm not even supposed to be here. We'll talk about it later, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. It's not good. It's as ungood as it gets. Might even be evil. Downright evil.
Crash Course Philosophy is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace, share your passion with the world.
Why is the sky blue? Which came first, orange the color or orange the fruit? And why is C-3PO afraid of everything? Like, who decided it was a good idea to teach a droid to experience fear? There are some questions that we ask ourselves, either as kids or adults, or both. They're questions about weird everyday things, and they're weird because most of us don't know the answers to them offhand. But most of the time, those questions turn out to be pretty answerable. Like, for the ones I just mentioned, the short answers are because of the way photons interact with molecules in the atmosphere, the fruit, and because that's what George Lucas wanted. Maybe because 3PO is a protocol droid and they need to be able to relate to humans, though he could stand to turn his fear settings down a notch. Now, as you know, philosophers have a soft spot for questions that can never be answered. Most of the time, these puzzles make for great thought experiments, tests of our skills in logic and argument. But there are some questions whose very lack of an answer can be downright troubling. Unlike the occasional fluke of physics or bit of Star Wars trivia, there's a part of us that really wants or even needs to have an answer to these things. For the past month or so, we've been exploring the philosophy of religion, and we've been doing it mainly from a theistic perspective, looking into arguments that justify belief in God. But one of the most persistent challenges to God's existence is also the root of one of the most asked but least answerable questions that we as thinking beings face. Why is there evil? Evil comes in many forms, and likewise for philosophers, poses many problems, especially vis-a-vis the existence of God. First, there's what's known as the logical problem of evil. Like all rational people, theists can't help but acknowledge that the world is full of evil. And here we're understanding evil to be all manner of bad stuff, like not just Hitler or Darth Vader or Moriarty. It's everything in the vast spectrum of badness, from stubbed toes to plagues and everything in between. Theists and atheists both agree that evil exists in this way, but they disagree about the next part. Many theists believe in an omniscient, omnipotent, and omnibenevolent God. But atheists argue that this creates a contradiction, a set of beliefs that can't all be true at the same time. Because evil is bad, right? Whether it's stubbed toes or genocide or paper cuts or epidemics. So if there's really an all-knowing God out there, he knows about all the evil. He might even know about it before it happens. And if he's all-powerful, he could stop it. And if he's all good, then he would want to stop it. And
Not again. So I guess I'll just tell you now. 'Cause, these analogies are good. The stub toe. So I'm having some car troubles. I lost out on some work tonight, and so I was joking with Silver Wolf earlier when we were talking. He was like, "Why would God do this to me?" And I was like, "It's probably Satan putting the demons in my engine." So, yeah, that type of evil, real, true, genuine evil. Never mind all the genocidal maniacs out there. Oh, also I hurt my knee, but it's okay because I was skateboarding.
And yet he doesn't. The evil continues. Philosophically rational people shouldn't hold inconsistent beliefs, so atheists argue that you're going to have to give something up, and the thing to give up is God. Some theists, however, take a different route. They choose to give up one or more divine attributes. They argue that maybe God isn't powerful enough to stop evil, or maybe he's not knowledgeable enough to know about it, or maybe he's not even good enough to care about stopping it. That might sound weird to some of you, but if you've ever heard someone say that God is envious or petty or jealous, that's basically what they're doing. They're acknowledging the possibility that God is not actually good. If you've ever checked out the Old Testament, there's a God there who has some anger issues, one who's not at all opposed to wiping out entire populations just because of some bad behavior. behavior. Still, despite this scriptural evidence, many theists are committed to God's omni attributes and are thus stuck with a problem. They have to resolve the logical problem of evil, and find some way to explain why God would allow evil into the world. And if you can do that, then you are presenting what is known as a theodicy. A theodicy is an attempt to show that the existence of evil doesn't rule out the possibility of God's existence. Yes, this is such a big deal that there's a word for it, and the most popular theodicy is called the free will defense. This argument holds that God maximized the goodness in the world by creating free beings, and being free means that we have the choice to do evil things, a choice that some of us exercise. This theodicy says that God doesn't create evil, but evil can't be avoided without depriving us of our freedom, and a world without freedom would be a worse place overall. This explanation preserves God's goodness because he created the best possible world, and also preserves his omnipotence and omniscience, because although he does know about evil and could stop it, he has a good reason not to ensure our freedom. The problem is, the free will defense only really addresses what's known as moral evil, or the evil committed on purpose by humans. Now, we're certainly responsible for a lot of bad stuff, but you can't blame us for everything. We can't be held responsible for the fact that the plates of the earth sometimes shift, causing destructive earthquakes, or that a storm might knock a tree over that falls onto someone's house. This type of evil, the stuff that we're not responsible for, is called natural evil, and the free will defense can't resolve natural evil. Religion is one of those philosophical issues that can make it hard for us to consider anything objectively. That's where fiction comes in handy, because fictional stories can let us see how hypothetical people deal with hypothetical situations. And with that in mind, let's go to the thought bubble for some flash philosophy. Let's consider the case of Ivan, a good Russian who wants to break up with God. In the novel The Brothers Karamazov, 19th century Russian writer Fyodor Dostoevsky presents us with Ivan, a man who claims to believe in God. But Ivan finds the fact that God allows evil to exist to be so unforgivable that he decides that worshipping such a God would be just unconscionable. Ivan goes so far as to declare that he is returning his ticket to heaven. If the same God who allows evil, particularly the suffering and death of children, is also saving a cozy place in paradise for Ivan, well, Ivan wants nothing to do with it. So his way out of the problem of evil is to deny God's goodness, and to conclude that a bad God is not only unworthy of his worship, he's also not someone Ivan wants to spend eternity with. It's like the ultimate unfriending. Now, some readers have found Ivan's decision to be noble and full of integrity. After all, if you really think God is letting all of this bad stuff happen, why would you want to be on his team? But other people think Ivan is being irrational. Why condemn yourself to an eternity in hell on principle? For theists, it's another question that doesn't have an easy answer. Thanks, Thought Bubble. Now, unlike Ivan, a lot of people aren't willing to give up their ticket to heaven, so they need to work on a way to keep believing in and worshiping God, even though evil is still a thing. One way to do that is to argue that good can't exist without its opposite. The idea here is that you can't understand the concept of pleasure without pain. We don't know what it feels like to be warm if we haven't been cold. We can't understand the goodness of filling our bellies if we've never been hungry. But there's also another way, though it involves a little more work on your part. 20th century English philosopher of religion John Hick offered what's known as the soul-making theodicy. Unlike the traditional view that God created a perfect world, which we ruined through our own poor choices, Hick argued that God deliberately creates us unfinished, and our earthly lives are designed to toughen us up in a sense, kind of like boot camp. The harshness of life, Hick said, gives us a robust texture and character that wouldn't be possible without an imperfect world. Hick said that we're not just God's little pets, and he's not our benevolent owner whose sole job is to keep us in a safe, comfortable environment. Instead, he wants to build us, to train us into a particular kind of being. So we need an environment that's suited to the sort of growth that he wants, the sort that this world makes possible. A lot of people find these and other theodicies to be pretty compelling. However, the problem of evil actually goes a step deeper. What we've been talking about so far is the logical problem of evil. This problem can be resolved if we can explain why there's evil. But there's also the evidential problem of evil. This problem points out that we might be able to explain why evil exists, but we still can't explain why there's so much evil in the world. For instance, let's say that it's true that we really do need evil in order to understand goodness. In that case, why can't we understand the contrast through some sort of low-level evil, like paper cuts and head colds and having to work straight through our lunch hour every now and then? I mean, slow, painful deaths from cancer and city-destroying hurricanes, they don't really add anything valuable to our understanding of goodness, do they? If God were truly good, and if a negative contrast were really needed in order for us to understand the goodness of the world, then why wouldn't he just give us the very minimum dosage of necessary evil to achieve that goal? A counterargument might suggest that there's always a good that corresponds to and is proportionate to any evil, but empirically, such goodness is really hard to find. What good, for example, could possibly correspond to the horrors of a genocide? In cases like this, Hick's soul-making doesn't seem to cut it. You can't really argue that whatever doesn't kill us makes us stronger, because sometimes evil does kill us, a lot of us, and sometimes it kills us before we have a chance to grow and learn from the suffering we've endured. Despite these and other philosophical sticking points, a lot of people have found a theodicy that satisfies them, one that they believe reconciles the apparent evil in the world with God's existence. Others find all of these theodicies to be flawed, and they reject God's omni-nature, preserving their belief in God by finding him to be less than perfectly powerful or knowledgeable or good. Still others are convinced that the evil in the world is simply incompatible with the existence of a god, or at least any god worth worshipping. Wherever you end up, this is a problem that needs to be grappled with, and you'll probably be thinking about it long after this lesson has ended. After all, today we have considered the biggest problem in theism, the problem of evil. We've thought about different theodicies, or ways that we might reconcile the existence of evil and the existence of God, and we've explored whether those responses are sufficient. Next time, we'll consider what kinds of justification we need to have for our religious beliefs. This episode of Crash Course Philosophy is made possible by Squarespace. Squarespace is a way to create a website, blog, or online store for you and your ideas. Squarespace
Yes. And those are some very compelling reasons not to believe in God. That is, even if you still think that everything had to come from somewhere and all that, it's like, but yeah, but dude's kind of a dick, especially in the Old Testament. I mean, and he still just lets, bad shit happen to good people all the time, so. That one's a wee bit newer than mine. No, that's older. Oh, I didn't see the... That's quite a bit older, actually. So I don't know, I'm not a mechanic, but I believe that... I believe it might be the timing chain causing issues with my car. I want to see if there's a okay, do the installation, but can we diagnose it on YouTube is my question. Because I've never had a car do some shit like this before in my life, and I don't understand it. Timing chain tensor guide, how to diagnose. All right.
A homescapes all my own. It's fun. Have you tried playing it?
I haven't.
It's so fun. Oh, Austin's there. Austin, say hi to Austin.
Hey guys, Danny Johnson here. My GT's been making a little bit of engine noise. I'm going to show you what I did to kind of diagnose it and what I think that it is. This is what it sounds like. So to eliminate anything to do with the drive belts or the pulleys or the water pump, I took the belt off of the crankshaft and ran the car. You don't want to do this long because the water pump isn't spinning, but I could still hear the sound there. So then I took my stethoscope here. This actually belongs to Justin SVT. It's like what you'd see at a doctor, but for cars. And so I was listening in on some of these bearings to see if it was them as well. but when I touched the actual timing cover, that's where I could really hear it internally. So I kind of poked around and listened to all these. I did replace some of these idlers too, since I had new ones, and I knew that they were kind of bad, but that wasn't the sound that I was hearing. And so ultimately I decided to pull off one of the cam covers, and this is on the passenger side where I was hearing the noise. And here is the timing chain. It definitely seems a little too loose to me. I could almost pick it up and take it off of the gear if I wanted. So I'm pretty sure I have a broken timing chain tensioner, something in there. So we're going to most likely pull this all apart and replace those. Just by comparison, this was off of a Terminator Cobra, but you can see how tight the chains are here when the tensioners are activated. Now, granted, depending on where the engine is, there might be a little bit more slack, but it definitely seemed like it was too much slack, to the point where, like I said, if I wanted to, I could almost take the chain off of the cam gear. And you definitely don't want to do that or miss any teeth, or the timing will be off. You'll strike valves, all that kind of thing. So this will just be hopefully a simple fix, just to take off the front timing cover and replace it with the two new timing chain guides there and tensioners. So stay tuned for more content. It'll probably be a bit until I can get to it, but anyway, that's what's going on. So
Yeah, this is still, I mean, could be, but there's no way I'm going to be able to open that up like that. I don't have all the tools and shit I need. Yeah, yeah, I love classic cars. My Mustang's newer. It's actually newer than this guy's, but I'll call her back in a minute. It's my aunt. Anyway, but yeah, I mean the engine setup is basically the same, I think. But yeah, I couldn't tell from the video whether it's doing the same thing as mine. I just know mine's doing something it should not be doing, and it's causing it to just sputter out on the highway. So I decided I need to bring it back. Yeah, I can't just let that go like that, because eventually I'm just gonna end up stranded or killing the engine or something. So yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna have to take it in, but I don't get paid for another 11 days, so it's gonna be interesting. What was the other thing? Okay. There's a good one. I haven't watched one of these in a while. Oh, we're gonna have road rage too? Alright. Love it.
New Special Forces method to lose weight is sweeping across America. You can now emulate 54,000 crunches in one session, and burn fat without working out. Wiedziałem, dlatego zwolniłem.
Closet, they had a stack of Playboys and Playgirls.
oh, really?
And I saw that, I'm like, oh. Oh my God, they flipped over. Oh my God, they rolled.
Oh, 911.
5 people already are probably.
Yep.
don't have sound. Of course, this one does. Turn the mic on.
What the f are you doing? Holy bro. What are you doing? Why are you reversing down a highway? I'm blocking traffic for a tow truck. How fast were you going? How fast were you going? Off.
You're supposed to be here to help people.
And you see how fast you're going? Huh?
If you're here to help people, then do that. Use a flag, whatever you need, but why you're standing on the road fingering people going by?
You're doing 120 kilometers past us.
And where is that? You prove that to me. Where did you decide that one? You just pulled it out of your ass.
You think I haven't watched traffic before?
Buddy, I'm driving like everybody else in the
No,
lane.
everyone else is slowing down.
Well, then come on out and monitor. Don't sit there and finger.
I'm wrapping up.
So is this like a Canadian cop, or is he a? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what this guy. He said he's giving him the finger. You think he's giving him the finger?
How do you know? You just decided so you're gonna finger me. You're amazing.
You're amazing. Hey, what the f are you doing? I've already called the cops.
You're gonna finger me? Okay, so he's not a cop.
You're trying to drag me out of the vehicle?
You don't stand there and finger people going by.
When you're doing 120 kilometers past us, you stand on the side of the road. Try it.
What?
Try it. Stand on the side of the road.
Is that the world nowadays? You just decide to finger people?
Is that the world where you can't slow down for another human being?
Cop. Do your job. You're not a cop.
So you can slow down for us.
He got out in reverse to come and talk to him. That's great. Fingering me. That's hilarious.
No. Yes.
Holy shit! How many times did you roll it? Can you tell? 11 times. Wow. Had a few road rage incidents. Um, yeah, I've seen a lot of these, so I mean, I'm sure there's one of all of us. I had a couple pretty good ones early on in my career. I've had some more recently, but they didn't result in anybody getting out of the car. You just randomly put like fucking 5 seconds of music in there. Like, that didn't make any sense. But, all right. Whatever. And. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Where's he going? No signal. Oh. And he's driving. What the? Okay. Tailgating. Oh, this guy hit him when he passed. I didn't see that. Maybe it wasn't in the video. All right, nice. Saw Cryptomaria and Orlo live. I don't know if they're streaming together or not. Run raw.
Are you sick of having issues with your webinars? Wasting.
Nope. Ooh, that one kind of looks interesting. I'm not going to go through 42 minutes of it, though. We can watch a couple. Trucker Nightmares. That's where the real action happens, right there.
This video is made with the best clips featured on this channel.
It's setting up those corners properly.
Oh yeah, godless voting. It's pretty bad up here in the Bay Area too. So yeah, I'll tailgate because I'm an asshole and I drive automatic. I'll tailgate people if I notice they have a stick on a hill just to see if they can control their shit. Or they're gonna have to buy me a bumper, you know. But you know, that's because I get road rage when I'm in San Francisco. So better to do it that way though. Let them hit you. No.
I'm on a check out.
See, every time I turn my mic on, there it puts sound on.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Dang. I just got clobbered, man.
Now that shit was very dangerous. I've done that to other cars before. I'm not proud of it. But yeah, doing that to a fucking big rig, dude. You get plowed from behind by a big rig. You think you're driving? I don't even know what he was driving. Little fucking coupe's gonna take that blow well? No, sir. And you get smushed. All right. Let's see. Let's maybe change. Let's see what we got. What do we got? Watch later. Must be something in there. I just got to keep myself busy. I was trying to go to sleep too early. Yeah, we did finish that one. Oh, and then we started the pizza and Coke video. I'll show this one since it's right there. Got some people I buy those for. That was it. Yeah. Short and sweet. Yeah, Jamie Russell. I started this video and I wanted to go back to it.
So the issue with eschatology and prophecy for the ideological possessed people that think they know certain views are wrong because they need them to be wrong because of choices they made in their past that they want to justify without any regard for the truth. They just know certain views are wrong because they have to be. Then they start to look at it and start to forget how much they don't actually know, which is the state a lot we're all in, myself included, by the way. But I do know enough to know that they don't know much. Mainly sola scriptura. Who actually, I like the guy. I just think his name is essentially, it's basically stolen valor for him to have that name, screen name. After giving up the biblical truths that he has slowly to justify his, false assumptions about what he thinks he knows. As he slowly let go of truths that have no basis in Scripture regarding hell, regarding the Sabbath, regarding anything that resembles Seventh-day Adventists. So I think he's has bad motivations, but I don't think he's aware of it. Chris Lucas, same exact story. Just can't imagine that Adventists actually know what they're talking about, and then when they're confronted with it, rather than humbling themselves, they lash out, say things that aren't true repeatedly, as if they know what is right or not. When I've watched them learn with me,
Not again. So this is the whole Christian YouTube sphere. If you're not familiar, out there, Jamie, he's we've had a couple of chats, pretty cool. But yeah, no, still plenty to disagree on. But he's talking about Praises Crew, I believe. I don't know all of them. I recognize the name Chris Lucas. But yeah, these are the Christians having their petty theological battles. I like listening in.
certain things about the text that they weren't aware of. They have no business saying what they're saying. You did not come to know it was false and then leave. You left, and then now you've looked for reasons to prove it's false. Okay, that being said, I want to look at some ideas that I want to know if these people reject. Do you reject the idea that what the reformers pointed out, that Rome, the Church of Rome, had been corrupt, and that the Pope had the spirit of the Antichrist? Mentioned in 2 Thessalonians 2. Here's the issue. Daniel said,
God, yeah, his microphone is just terrible on this. He's like walking around with his phone or something. It's worse than mine. All right, that's enough of that. I don't even know what he fucking... Should we stick around and see what he's fucking talking about? All right, we'll give it a couple more minutes.
7 gives us a succession of kingdoms, and we know Rome is the final one from Daniel 2 and Daniel 7. We know that Rome was in power when Jesus came the first time. So, there's a couple options. The one says he's the lawless one. He'll speak blasphemies against the Most High. He'll seek to change times and laws. Is that Antiochus Epiphanes in Daniel 7? Because now you've attached what Paul's using that person in 2 Thessalonians 2. He's talking about that person and his spirit being in the church. Well, that person comes out of the Roman kingdom in Daniel 7. So, if you're not a futurist, okay, which you aren't, I'm sure you may jump to that if you have to, just to prove Seventh-day Adventists wrong, of course. I'm sure you'll go as far as you need to. The problem is, that individual, are you abandoning the Protestant consensus? Which wouldn't make any sense, because it tells you he comes out of Rome. Whom Jesus will destroy with the brightness of his coming and the breath of his mouth. That day will not come until the lawless one be revealed, the son of perdition. How are you going to make Daniel... Jesus destroys the man from Daniel 7, according to 2 Thessalonians 2, with the brightness of his coming and the breath of his mouth. The guy...
Fucking thing's starting to piss me off. No, sorry, no, I'm mad at myself. But anyway, so I get a little bit of what's going on here. We're talking about like when Jesus is gonna come back, and this is these futurist, biblical, like Richard Madison is one of those who believes that the Bible hasn't happened yet, or at least large portions of the Bible. We're still somewhere in the middle of the Bible is kind of what they're talking about. And when's Jesus coming? And they all think, well, some of them think they have the answer. A lot of them just say they don't know, which is fair enough.
The guy in Daniel 7 that Jesus destroys, what do you think this Daniel 11 is talking about? The resurrection happens at Jesus' coming. Daniel 11 into Daniel 12 talks about the little horn from Daniel 8, which comes after Daniel 7. The guy in Daniel 7 is called the little horn. The guy in Daniel 8 is the little horn. Daniel 11 seems to be talking about the same individual from Daniel 8. And then the resurrection happens. Well, what happens at the resurrection? According to 2 Thessalonians 2. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ and by our gathering together unto him, that you be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled neither by spirit nor by word, nor by letter as from us, that day of Christ is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means. That day will not come except there's a falling away first. The man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, the man of lawlessness, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or what is worshipped, so that he is God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. But the mystery of iniquity, that is lawlessness, is already at work. The mystery, the spirit. That's obviously related to some of the Gnostics, who rejected the law of God and said they were good because of grace. The early church fathers spoke against them for those reasons. We know what kinds of beliefs they had. That's the spirit of the Antichrist, the son of perdition, the man of lawlessness, the man of iniquity, who seeks to change times and laws. You know what that means? He seeks to change God's laws regarding time. That spirit, whom the Lord Jesus will destroy at the brightness of his coming in the breath of his mouth, that man's spirit is already at work in the church. What is his spirit? Lawlessness. Who is he? The individual that arises out of the little horn, Daniel 7, which is Rome. But yet Jesus will destroy him with the brightness of his coming in the breath of his mouth. So, whoever that is, it's who he destroys at the resurrection. Daniel 11 and Daniel 12. Therefore, Daniel 11 is the same one, which is the same one from Daniel 7. Which means it's the same person or figure or power as in Daniel 8. End of story. Stop telling lies. Stop acting like you don't know. You don't know what you're talking about. And you don't realize the damage you're doing because of your own personal whatever. God bless. All the best to you.
Is my microphone? Ah, shit.
You have a PhD. Here you have, you know what? If he interrupts me one more time, kick his sorry little PhD ass out of here.
Motherfucker. Can you hear me now? Shit. Okay. Well, I was trying to pause it and say something, and then everything went AWOL and froze up on me. So I don't know how much of that you heard. I was sitting here cursing at my computer. This one, I've already watched this video while I was at work. It made me laugh out loud. So we'll do this, and then I have something else I want to look at. But if it works, that's if it works. I'm still waiting for this fucking thing to catch up. My live timer keeps freezing. Yeah. I was trying not to go to bed too early because I know if I take a nap, I'll just wake up in the middle of the night and then I won't be able to go back to sleep. So, but if I, yeah, it doesn't matter really. I always sleep in like 5-6 hour bursts, if that. Yeah, you hear me having words with the computer. Yeah, it wasn't telling me if I was unmuted, so it wasn't telling me anything really. I was able to just flip back from screen to screen, but they were both frozen on my end. So all right, so this is a Tom Rabbit video, but Tom Rabbit clips these. If anybody knows who Darth Dawkins is, I have a supercut edition of the exchange I had with him over here very early on in the channel history, and I cut Jill out of that video. Because Jill was on beforehand, and it was supposed to be like an open dialogue, like atheist theist dialogue or whatever. And basically, Jill warmed me up and then lubed me up, and then Darth gave me the big stinky. I was not prepared for that, so I still enjoy listening to him fucking have his tantrums. So that's why I listen to Tom Rabbit.
Okay? You're an academic. You're a disgrace to academics when you act this way. Well, if we have any unbelievers in the room who would like to explain why unbelief in God, and especially the God of the Bible, is unreasonable, come on up. Come on up, John. Tell us why first tell us why agnostic atheist is actually meaningful.
Wait a minute, is this the guy that always seems to like destroy you in these conversations?
No. This is John, the so-called retired physicist.
No, I know that, but apparently,
see, the funny thing is, John,
he always seems to mop the floor with you, according to what I've been hearing. I'm just sort of backing up the idea.
See, the funny thing, John, being that you claim to have a PhD in physics, which I can respect that, I can believe that, but the idea of agnostic atheist is really dumb, because if atheist and agnostic atheist, if it just simply means no belief, then that covers everything. There's no need to add agnostic, because knowledge is a subtype of belief. So this is a common mistake that atheists make. They want to differentiate between knowledge and belief, but knowledge is just a subtype of belief. So, John, just once again, come on up. Tell us about your atheism. Oh, I'm not a mod, so I can't invite.
Oh, what do you want to know?
Okay, so there is the standard definition of atheism when we look at the reference literature, both encyclopedias and dictionaries, as well as philosophical dictionaries and encyclopedias, which is that there are no gods, or specifically there is no supreme being who's the creator of all things that are not himself, or you're using atheism or atheist in the non-standard way simply to refer to an autobiographical statement where you merely have the absence of a positive belief.
Okay, so reading, so the first thing that comes up when I look up atheism is the Wikipedia definition, which I think I subscribe to. It says
No,
atheism.
anybody, that's silly. Anybody can edit that. I'm talking about an across the board compilation of all of the reference works. Okay, there's a standard.
Give me a
There's
citation. Give me a citation.
Oh well, you could go to the Rutledge Encyclopedia of Philosophy. You could go. There are a number of encyclopedias of philosophy and dictionaries of philosophy.
Find one you like.
You could go to well. I would encourage you to read the paper on the definition of atheism by Malik. It's a tour de force scholarly work upon the varied approaches and definition. So it's a very simple question. Okay,
I actually have that paper right now.
It's a tour de force paper. I challenge anybody to refute it. Okay, and he's not a Bible thumper. So the point is this.
Well, I can tell you what my definition is if you want.
Okay. Well, no, I didn't. I'm just asking you. There is the standard definition that we find in a overwhelming cross section of all the reference works, or there's the non-standard definition. Okay, like for example, many times people will cite.
How about I just tell you what I believe?
I'll tell you in a second. I'm just trying to give you some background information. Many times people will cite the Oxford Dictionary online, but that's an online version. That's not the paid version. When you go to the paid version, it's very clear. The definition of atheism is that there are no gods or there is no God. So so we could even skip the issue, whether it's standard or non-standard. But you see,
I don't know if anybody caught that back there. I don't think that Darth misspoke because the guy said, well, why don't you let me tell you what I believe? And then Darth said, I'll tell you in a second. I think he is. Yeah.
This problem is the atheist doing, not the non-atheist. Because for a long time, people did not employ the notion that atheism was merely an autobiographical statement. Okay? So when you call yourself an atheist, does the word atheist mean there are no gods or God? Or is it just an autobiographical statement meaning that you are absent a positive belief in God?
Okay, my turn. So what I mean
that was a question.
Okay, well, I'll answer the question. I mean, I'll just tell you what I believe, and you can decide what you think.
As long as it's an answer to the question.
Okay, I subscribe to what I see when I bring up definitions of atheism that say atheism is the lack of belief, or if you want, the lack of belief in a God, that gods exist, that any God exists, or the belief that no God exists. I'd go with either of those.
So it's autobiographical and propositional.
The two are not the same. For every person who denies the existence of God as creator, as a consequence, they lack belief in God. But if somebody says, I lack belief in God, this is not very informative because that could be referring to the positive propositional position that there is no God and consequently there's an absence of belief. Or it could refer to the position that they are claiming they merely have an absence of a positive belief without the positive propositional stance that there is no God. So which is your position?
I don't believe in God.
Okay, again, telling me you don't believe in God is like telling me you're a non-theist. It's like telling me you lack belief in God. That's non-informative.
Well,
So what he's doing here, and there's pretty much his thing. He's got a few tactics for dudes, right? And John's not buying into it because he wants to trap you into saying there is no God, and then so he could do his little spiel, right? So as long as you don't say that, he's going to keep getting tangled up, going back and back to the same point, which pretty much would happen with he and I, but at some point I just conceded and let him go on his freaking script so I could ask him about Jesus. And then, he said he was, I don't know. He claims he's trying to save people, but he's one of these, trying to get around your intellect. Um, but he tends to just be very abusive. He's a very abusive person. I don't know if he knows that or not.
Do you hold to the position? Well, you see, this is the problem of unimaginable man hours that have been wasted on the internet of atheists taking this position, and those of us who are a little bit more adept on this issue know perfectly well why they're doing it. So, is it your position that the proposition that there is no God is it your position that that proposition is true?
No.
Okay, so you're just claiming you're simply verbalizing it's an autobiographical statement wherein you are in a state of ignorance about the existence or non-existence of God.
Yeah, I would. That's the agnostic
Okay.
part.
Okay. Well, no, you're
Yeah,
not.
that's
You're
the
not. You're
agnostic
not.
part.
You're not. Then you're not. You're not getting it then. Okay. Because then if atheism just simply, as you're using it, refers to that you're in a state of ignorance about God. Okay. That's the same thing as agnosticism.
Exactly.
Well, all I can tell you is what I believe.
See, notice how he, as typically as most atheists do,
Just ignore the
sidesteps
critique.
the yeah.
You just ignore the critique
I
entirely.
just gave you absolute clarity, and this is typically what atheists do. If atheism is, I'll go over it again. Okay.
Well,
It gets tiring when you let me finish. It just gets tiring when you atheists do this. Only a state of ignorance about the existence or non-existence of God. Is that what atheism is for you?
Atheism for me expresses the fact that I don't believe in God.
Okay, you're not directly answering my question. You're doing typically what atheists do, and now I'm getting pissed because you're an educated man. Okay. Now, do you really have a PhD in physics?
Yes.
I assume you do, right? Okay, then stop with the teenage atheist bullshit, okay? Now, is atheism for you, as you use it, simply an expression that you are in a state of ignorance about whether or not God does or does not exist?
No.
Oh, okay, so you're not in a state of ignorance, okay? So which of those two positions do you affirm? Obviously, you wouldn't affirm that God does exist. Are you then affirming that God does not exist?
I affirm that I am ignorant about whether or not God exists, but that is not my atheism.
You're not understanding. Okay, atheism is you're either
So that actually, in my opinion, wasn't the greatest answer. But under the circumstances, it's difficult to give a good answer. In our talk, I said, if anything, I can't say that no God exists for certain, right? I can't prove there's no God, but I can say with a good degree of certainty that the God found in the Bible, right? Not very likely. Like actually very, very unlikely. But that's just my opinion, man. So I went with that one, tiptoe around it. But yeah, I don't know. That was kind of a convoluted answer to say. Well, I can be agnostic and be an atheist. I mean, yeah, but it is kind of a duplicitous stance.
either going to use it that no God exists, or you're going to be using it in a non-standard way that you are ignorant as to whether or not.
That's fine. I don't mind.
Yeah, you see, folks. You see, this is what all the atheists do, and it doesn't matter what their educational level is. We get the same bullshit from people with PhDs like John here. So, John, all I want to know is a yes or no. Is your a John? John, please don't over talk me while I'm speaking, because I understand the issue a lot better than you do. John, okay? Let me finish. Okay, so John, okay.
Johnson, why are you naked? Because my t-shirt.
Either you will affirm that God exists, or you will deny that God exists, or you'll lay claim that you're in a state of ignorance. So which is it?
I am in a state of ignorance.
Okay, so atheism means that you are ignorant
of
whether or not. Oh, so you're not ignorant. Okay, so since you're not ignorant as per God's existence or non-existence, which of those two?
I am ignorant.
Yeah, you know what? I can't take much more of this.
Well, I'm just trying to tell you what I believe, Darth. John,
no, John. I have patience with people, and I'm trying to be patient with you. But this kind of teenage bull. Okay, John, listen to me. Okay, is atheism for you a positive proposition about the existence or non-existence of God? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, so atheism is not. Okay. So atheism for you is just simply an autobiographical statement whereupon you are ignorant as to the existence or non-existence of God.
No.
Okay. Goodbye. Get rid of him. Remove him. Get him out of here. We're done. Okay. How many times do we have to clarify that? How many times do we have to go through this, and yet they continue to foist this bullshit?
I mean, even the most radical atheists would not deny that atheism fits into one of those categories.
Look.
Well, my stream is moving oh so slowly tonight. The connection was pretty good earlier, but now it's just lagging on me a little bit. What's up, Ox? Good to see you. Yeah, Silver, if you need to block that person, just do it. Like, don't even think about it. Somebody's triggering you like that. So, since this is obviously going to be a two-parter, so I believe in the next part it's going to get really funny because they're going to end up in a room where the mods are not on Darth's side. and so I believe that's what happens. So we should get some lulls out of this one.
This is an attempt to be verbally deceptive and evasive and obfuscate and to prevaricate.
5 minutes later.
John, you're making me want to throw up when you have such high academic credentials.
Oh no, so he is in the same room, but he mentioned earlier that he wasn't a mod, so I guess he can't kick him. The mods have to kick the guy is the deal. So I guess that's going to be the interesting part.
When you lie about playing word games, when all you're simply doing is regurgitating the same semantical gymnastics and word games that teenage atheists do. Okay, look, I'll give you one more try. Oh, did he leave? No, he's here. Bring him back in. We'll give you one more try. Okay, and watch. He will resort to verbal gymnastics. So invite him up again.
But think about this.
Okay, John. Yes.
If you say, I don't know, all right, it doesn't really matter how you hash up, but let's say.
Yeah. Believing and knowing are different things, right?
You're okay. Well, there's where you're mistaken. There's where you're mistaken.
That's not entirely true.
There's a difference.
Well,
yeah, let me explain to you what. Hey, John. Let me explain to you what.
When I say I believe I'm going to the store this morning, I don't know that I'm going to the store this morning. I just plan to.
John, it's an unimportant distinction, and here's why.
Okay.
One philosophy.
The point, though, of the tense there, you're like, do you believe you went to the store this morning, or do you know that you went to the store this morning, right? Because that's really like the I don't know. I don't understand how that's gonna work, but all right. I don't think I've heard Darth do racism. I don't deny that he is, but I just haven't personally seen it that I recall. But yeah, I think he's just like an all around disgusting human being. But yeah, if you have that clip, post it. If you have any clips of that, the more you can put on. I mean, he is a rude, arrogant motherfucker, but it's also sometimes entertaining. That's what makes it so entertaining because he's always like, he's always that guy flying the victory flag no matter what happens. But when he throws a shit fit and acts like a fucking petulant child, it's amazing. Whose channel was it? I think it was Praise's channel. Was it Praise's channel? And he was in there with somebody. Shit. Now I can't. I just remember him throw. It was the funniest shit because they refused to kick the guy from the room, and he was like, "If you don't kick him out, I'm leaving and I'm never coming back." And they all laughed at him. And then he's fucking like flipping out in Discord after that about it. It was so fucking funny.
One philosopher said, there is a difference, but typically it's just a matter of emphasis. Since no one is claiming to be omniscient, the difference between knowing and believing is that one has greater warrant or justification rather than lesser. And so that line of demarcation can shift depending on the individual or whatever cultural standards they are. Okay? So when you tell me you know X, are you telling me you know X because you're omniscient? Well, of course not. So when you tell me you know X, it's always short of omniscience. So would you agree or not agree that the demarcation between, do you agree that knowledge is a subset of belief?
Knowledge is, I'm not sure I understand. Let me think about
Okay, if we have a chalkboard, imagine you're teaching physics and we draw a big circle on the chalkboard and we write in the middle in bold letters, beliefs, okay? Now, if we are about to draw another circle that says knowledge, does that small circle that has knowledge in it, is it inside the circle of beliefs or outside the circle of beliefs?
Yeah, I think it's too fuzzy. I don't know what your definition of
Okay, you know what? I'm not putting up with this anymore. Okay, it's a well-known fact.
Well, look, here's the question of
epistemology.
how about we talk about the subset of
John, you're pissing me off.
Tone?
No, you can, but every time you open up your mouth, you're being deceptive. John, it is completely uncontroversial.
I really
to say that I'm trying to finish a statement. You know what? You're going to get kicked back to the audience if you don't want to.
There's something I wanted to point out earlier. There's something I wanted to point out earlier, and like what you said, John. You said, "I don't believe that God exists, and I don't believe one can know whether God exists."
Right.
But if we look at the second part of what you said, you don't believe that one can know whether God exists, then that would be the same thing as not believing that God exists, because obviously if one cannot know it, one by consequence would not believe it. So you're giving a distinction without any real difference here.
Okay, look,
John.
That's fine. All I can tell you is I don't believe in God, and I don't believe one can know whether there's a God.
There's no,
that's
a distinction without a difference.
Well, okay,
John, listen to me.
I'm just telling you what I believe.
I'm asking you a question. John, I'm telling you, don't piss me off, okay? Now, John, okay, yeah, you want to be, look, you want to be an asshole?
No,
here you are.
You
You have a PhD.
Asshole.
Here you have. You know what? If he interrupts me one more time, kick his sorry little PhD ass out of here. Okay? You're an academic. You're a disgrace to academics when you act this way. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. Okay? And you're acting like an ass.
I'm not hearing anybody.
John. It is a well-known view and completely uncontroversial in epistemology that knowledge is a subset of beliefs. Okay?
If you just said things that we know are a subset of
John, if you ignore a point I'm saying one more time, you're done.
You're not paying attention to what he's telling you.
You know what? Give me mods so I'll get the blame for removing him if he keeps this up. Give me mods. I'll take care of him.
I can't give you mods because the room owner doesn't want me to give them to you.
Okay, fine. Then if
That's
he
fine.
keeps
You
this
can
up,
give it
kick
to
him
him.
out
If
of
he
the
wants to
room.
kick me
Hey,
out, if you want to kick me out, tell him to kick me out.
John. If somebody has knowledge of X, does that under
No,
them
if you
having
know
knowledge?
X,
Okay, you know what? You know what? Kick him out of here. He will not stop interrupting me. Get him out of here. Okay. What a scumbag. You see, it doesn't matter whether they have a high school diploma or a PhD or not. He's
Ah, yes. I'm sure he I'm sure he has, Ox. I'm sure he's made racist comments. I would love to get that clipped. Uh, fun. Okay, so what am I looking at here? Oh yeah, that's right. So I just found out that they're selling this stuff. At the Shell station down the street. I'm sure I can't afford it, but I've never used this. I keep hearing about it. I'm like, why is it different from, regular weed, man? 5 things to know about Delta 8. Has serious health risks. This is from the FDA. Uh-oh. Delta 8 THC is a psychoactive substance found in the cannabis sativa plant, of which marijuana and hemp are two varieties. Delta 8 THC is one of over 100 cannabinoids. I always have trouble with that word. Cannabinoids? Anyway. Produced naturally by the cannabis plant, but is not found in significant amounts in the cannabis plant. As a result, concentrated amounts of Delta 8 THC are typically manufactured from hemp-derived cannabidiol, CBDs. Okay. It's important for consumers to be aware that the Delta 8 THC products have not been evaluated or approved by the FDA for safe use in any context. They may be marketed in ways that put the public health at risk and should especially be kept out of reach of children and pets. Here's 5 things you should know about Delta 8 THC to keep you and those you care for safe from products that may pose serious health risks. Right. Are they just repeating themselves now? It hasn't been evaluated. Got that. Right. The FDA is aware of the growing concerns surrounding the Delta 8 THC products currently being sold online and in stores. These products have not been evaluated or approved by the FDA for safe use in any context. Some concerns include, thank you, variability in product formulations and product labeling. I don't see how the labeling should matter. Other cannabinoid and terpene content, okay, and variable Delta 8 THC concentrations. Additionally, some of these products may be labeled simply as hemp products, which may mislead consumers who associate hemp with non-psychoactive. Furthermore, the FDA is concerned by the proliferation of products that contain Delta 8 THC and are marketed for therapeutic or medical uses, although they have not been approved by the FDA. Selling unapproved products with unsubstantiated therapeutic claims Sorry, we had to break up a dog fight in the yard. Okay. Who'd this be? Yeah?
Do you want that discreet? I
Okay.
can't believe I busted that. Shit.
I've got one that it's,
All over this big lizard.
Yeah, alright. So anyway. Oh, that was intense. What up, motherfucker? You're on live with the Trustee Podcast. No, I just had to bust up a dog fight. The mama dog and the little dog got into it out there.
Oh no. Yeah, I was just throwing out about 17 people out of the swimming pool, and one came back and went swimming and almost got pepper sprayed.
You'll be dealing with that shit all summer.
I don't know about, you know, where West El Camino is. At my other job, I had to go and kind of making sure no homeless set up their little tents on the levee.
Yeah.
So what you been up to?
Well, my fucking car's out of commission, so I missed work tonight, so I'm live streaming. Yeah, my engine's fucked up now. I don't know what the fuck's going on with it. So, I don't know. My aunt's supposed to try to get a hold of this mechanic to come in check it out, hopefully. Otherwise, I don't have to put it in the shop, and I don't know how the fuck I'm going to pay for it.
Well, that's not good, man.
It's not good at all.
Oh my god, that scared the shit out of me. There was a fire truck that was going the other way, and I guess he didn't have his lights or anything on, so, you know, I didn't even really pay attention to what's going on the other side, and I guess a car that was kind of going too slow for a big truck, and he bumped at him and scared the shit out of me.
Okay.
But man, working at like no electricity, no lights, everything, and working right on that levee, that was scary.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Did a patrol with my vehicle up and down that damn thing, and I was like, are you crazy? I'm not going to. It's like if I make that wrong turn, my car is going to go right into the ditch, or what do you call that? You know, that levee.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just parked it and walked it. You know, we thought it was like a mile and a half. Who cares? I got all night to walk it. Well, I do care, but anyway.
I was supposed to be fucking wanding at a fucking wine tasting event tonight in Napa. It was gonna be like super fucking chill. And yeah. And then there's some other event going on tomorrow, horse racing, I think. That I was gonna do too, but I can't do that one either now, so.
Yeah, no way to borrow your mom's vehicle or anybody?
No, my mom lost her car a few months ago, so no, it's pretty much, there's nobody reliable that I can ask to come and get me for all that, you know, right now, so.
Yeah, I'm way up here and I have to work, so I'm screwed.
Yeah, I'm stuck taking the bus again. That's what I told my employers. I'm like, it is what it is, you know.
Got that little bit of a taste of freedom and then they took it away.
Yeah.
I hate this location. And forgive me if I pause a little bit. You said you were on podcast?
Yeah. Yeah, we're on live, man. Everybody can hear you. What's up, Hal C?
I just realized that you just said something like that. I was like, let's see. Anyway, I'm currently at work and doing my patrol and trying to kick everybody out of the pool and stuff right now and locking everything up.
Gotcha. Yeah, I guess my mom just got home from church and the dogs brought the dogs out. They got into a fight, so probably go in there and grab something to eat. And oh yeah, I should probably check on something here.
Yeah, but if you heard another phone dispatch, and I might have to put you guys off here. So forgive me.
Ah, you're good. You're good.
I just hope we don't win, because that's when I don't want to fall.
Yeah, I know. Oh shit. Oh man, I got into it with my supervisor last week. Yeah, it was not good. I'm still waiting to hear something about it. I didn't even know the guy was my fucking supervisor. I don't know what level he's on, but when he said that, I thought they were joking. He literally laughed when he said that too, and I was like, okay. So I came at him and I was like, you need to fucking show me some respect, dude. You know, like he was just the way he was fucking talking down to me. I was just like, you know what?
Above you, and then plus the owner, then everybody below me.
What's up, Mom?
Would you go to the liquor store and get me some papers?
Yeah, give me a few minutes.
Do you have a paper I can use right now?
Yeah. What's up, Mom?
Would you go to the liquor store? Who's that?
That was you.
Here, and you can keep the change to get something or
All right.
whatever you want.
Thank you.
Oh, get the blue and silver packet of the zigzags.
Okay.
Please. Who are you on the phone with?
My friend Roy.
Hi, Roy.
Oh boy. Yeah, that was my mom. I'm not sure. Maybe not. Yeah, I mean she lived up there for a while, but that was, I think that was before we met. No. No, I mean she liked Jesse, but they weren't that close, you know. I don't even think I invited her, you know.
I don't know what not to like. You was one of the best person. It's like they'll give you the back of your third if you know if you let them. You know if you don't cross them, of course. You know.
Yeah, no, it was just the way he went about it, and yeah, I definitely overreacted. So that was kind of the problem. I was just like, when I went in there to address him, I was all freaking fueled up. So I was like, okay, I probably could have waited that one out and gotten better results. But you know, it is what it is. So I was considering trying to head him off and call HR or something, but now I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. But yeah, it's an interesting dynamic out there. That's at the university, so it's working friggin' 5 different sites now, like, every week. Well, yeah. Generally 3, but they give me a couple extra assignments, so.
I get 25 that I have to manage myself, but I have to supervise over east and say women. I do the east, they do the south, north, and north too. So that's like about 150 plus mine.
So you got 25 guards under you, or like that's just
That I have to do mine personally that I have to do route.
right? Okay.
But I have a total like 200 over 200 that I have to oversee every night. And plus I have officers at standing sites. I got like 1, 2, 3, like 4 that I know that will be coming on shift here in a little bit. And what was it? Oh yeah, I was walking out.
Don't forget your orders.
I do it almost kind of like in my blind control after. But this one right here is like, it says it's 20-minute patrol, right? And it's like we do
Yeah.
It takes at least 20 minutes just to do all the lockup. And then on the weekends and holidays, I gotta unlock all these places over here. They're gonna suck when it rains.
Yeah, that's why I like that university gig too, because it's pretty much. I mean, yeah, you got to walk from building to building, but other than that, all this shit's and indoor, for the most part.
Yeah, mine's mostly outdoor and stuff. It's only in the parking lot of the apartment complex. We have a few, medical shopping center or medical place that shouldn't have no vehicles on the property. And sometimes we deal with, transients sleeping in their vehicle. And, most part, they're all cool.
Did I tell you I caught these two kids right outside of the lecture hall trying to get freaky in their vehicle? They were under a blanket in the driver's seat. Oh, that one was great. I walked by and I had to do a double take, and I walked around the car, and the female, she was on top. She poked her head out from under the blanket and she saw me, and I waited for a minute. They didn't come out, so then I approached the window, and then she was like, "Oh, all right." And she rolled off of him, and they had the funniest expressions. It's just like, okay, weirdos trying to do it in public.
Well, someone's going to get sick because I'm walking up the locker room and they got clothes in the wash machine and the laundry room closes at 10. So, shame on them, not on me, because I'm not staying around for an hour or whatever it all takes.
Yeah.
I mean, usually when they're on the dryer and then I look at the minutes, it's like, okay, I can take it.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that. Yeah, I guess if it was me, I'd just lock their fucking laundry in there. Fuck them.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now because it's after 10 o'clock and I'm not going to sit. If they came out and get their clothes out right now, I'm getting the dryer. But one time I had somebody that came out and said, can you please put it in the dryer real quick? And I usually, okay, I just won't be able to come back until early in the morning or Matt will come in and lock everything in the morning, depending on what day it is.
Right, right.
And usually, it's a judgment call, and usually that's what I do. Wow. Light yourself out. Fuck. I think I know who it is. It might be the same guy.
Holy shnikey.
I don't know. Now I just gotta go on the other side of this place.
Oh, you're doing lot patrol now?
I'm not walking around. I locked up several locker rooms and the gym and the rec room. Several different courts I gotta go to. And the Caesar just a walk-in. I guess I'll be getting boarded.
I know that was bad, wasn't it? No, it was. No, I had to put my phone in a different spot. I'm multitasking, man.
Yeah, I don't see anybody on there typing, so I don't even have you on the live stream. I'm on the phone with you.
Wait, on what?
No, I said I'm on phone with you, so I'm not seeing who's typing.
Oh, in the chat. Yeah, yeah. Oh, we got a couple people going at it. We got Joe Day. Halsey was here. I don't know who's still here. My friend Silver Wolf.
The rec room is closed.
The usual suspects.
There's very close. Yeah, it's after 10 o'clock. Huh? No. I just came in and unlocked the door. I checked that door first thing because sometimes it's unlocked over here, so I check it first. So yeah, this room's closed, guys.
Somebody's going to be disappointed. Did you get rid of them?
Sorry about that, you guys. I had to deal with some people in the red room. Alright, all walked up.
What are they trying to get in there for at 10:30?
Oh no, I mean, they're regularly, they just got shit in the pool and lost track of time. If you don't mind, I mean, can you send me the link to so I can get in and chat with everybody when I get off the phone with you?
Oh, I'm probably gonna end it. I gotta go get my mom some papers before the liquor store closes. There's always next time, so. No, and they do hear you, but there's some shenanigans going on in the side chat. I'm just trying to ignore it.
You got one of those little, what do you call it, trolls?
No, no. Well, they're trolls of each other, but it's certainly not me. They just my chat is the arena for these things now. Apparently, I don't. You know, I have too much love for both of them to. So I just gave them both wrenches and let them duke it out. They just beat each other over the head with these blue wrenches.
But anyway, I'm sorry about your vehicle.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. It's I mean, it could be worse, and that's why I got to stop driving it because it's getting worse, and at some point it'll be found on road dead. So.
I brag or rub it in, but did I tell you about my truck?
Who? What?
I just got me a truck.
Oh yeah. You were telling me that.
I love it.
What is it though? I forgot.
It's an older truck. It's a 2004 Dodge Ram 1500.
Oh, not bad, not bad.
Perfect condition. Well, I paid $4,800 for it.
Oh, you gotta say hi to Carol K. Carol K just came in. It smells like testosterone in here. Yes, it does.
I already took it out camping and slept in the back. It threw an air mattress in the back and went to sleep. And had some, I don't know if you saw my Facebook, you'll see a bunch of beers. I was like right next to me.
On your Facebook? No, I saw you post a picture of your patrol car.
Well, yeah, that was the other day. I'm talking about like a week or so ago that I went camping and got me a little bitty piece. It was so little that I almost want to get her as a pet. It was a little bitty blue deal.
You cut out a little bit there, huh? So you heard about this Delta 8 stuff? All the kids are using it. Ah, shit, you got out. You really did get cut off, man. I can't hear him at all. Oh, there you are. I was like, you got your audio got a little shaky, and then I couldn't hear you for a minute. I didn't know what was going on. Did you hear about this Delta 8 stuff? Yeah.
No, I have not.
Oh, it's like a cannabis product, but it's like a concentrate. They're selling it in the store down the street. But then I'm reading like this statement from the FDA about it, how they're saying it's dangerous, but I haven't seen any evidence that there are actually. Oh wait, 2,300.
Security guards, so I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, they just started selling it down the street, I guess, or I just found out about it. So I was like, I don't know if I want to try this or not. But it seems like if they're selling it at the gas station, then they're probably going to legalize it, right?
It's so dangerous.
Wait, what I just said or something you saw?
It's kind of hot out here already. If you guys don't mind, I need you guys all pray for my mom. She's in the hospital. To do some tests and see where she's at on her cancer and stuff.
Oh shit, I'm sorry, man. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Nothing I can do. I can't get down there. I mean, I do know my sister from Oregon is just going down there. She'll be there on the 10th to help out.
Is she in? Uh,
I'm having a hard time talking at the moment.
okay. You want me to let you go, man?
Oh no, I'm just letting you guys know since if you can pray for her.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sure, I'll send the love.
It's like almost like a 3-hour drive from my brother to the hospital where she's at.
She's in California?
Well, no, that's back in Missouri.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm saying, well, is it St. Louis? Maybe it's I don't know. All I know is that they have to travel, and it's like, you have to go back to work. And, you know, he's a realtor. He's a manager, I think, at Walmart, and he's also a youth pastor. So I know it's hard on him. Oh, shit, it's hot. Oh, my favorite spot. I'm going next. So, work, they're not going to let you go or anything. They're just going to probably give you a warning or anything.
Well, I mean, technically, this is my second unexcused absence. They made that very clear. They let the last one go, so I may be in for a write-up. I'm not sure how that one's going to pan out, so we'll just have to see.
Well, I know my company is like, they let a lot of slacking stuff going around here, but after a while they will say, let you go, or they just not scheduling you, or what the hell they do.
Right.
But in the last month or so, it's been changed a lot. It's like every time there's a pass down, I have to have everybody freaking sign the pass down that I talked to them about, like maybe because they need to clock in and clock out for the lunch, clock in, clock out when they work, and they're really getting on it because I got in trouble for not writing people up, and I said I'm just not a person to write people up. I mean, people are human. It's like, hey, they're late, they're doing their job, and it's like usually I can just talk to them, and usually that's all that needs to be done. I don't need to have to write them up for it each and every time.
Yeah.
So I got in trouble for letting that go so much. And that's why a lot of the officers do not say they looked up to me, but them a good, because I listen to what they're saying, and they know there's not much I can do in some of this stuff, but some of it, I can't let the excuse, like it's like one officer that who used to be with him, he had a female passenger that is something that he was worried that he's going to get rid of, and I said, yes, you are getting rid of. I'll tell you right in your face. I told him, I said, I can't let this one go. This is a big no-no. You're not doing a picture for each site or whatever you do. That's one thing I can just say, hey, you got to start take the pictures. That's one thing. But having a violation because we're not insured or we're not supposed to have people in the vehicle, that's something I can't let go. I have to.
Okay, so that is a thing, because they told me that at the site I'm at, and I'm like, nobody said shit to me about that, and it says in the post orders, it just says, the post orders just generally say you can use the patrol vehicle under, you know, whatever specific conditions, right? But it doesn't say that you have to get clearance to use the patrol vehicle anywhere. And then that's another thing the supervisor said, and I was like, well, I've never heard that. Like, okay, that you have to get clearance on the insurance.
Well, the thing is the liability, because you got to think about it. You got to put yourself into protection of the company and yourself, because that person you might not know might kind of say you raped her or did something to her inappropriately, and it could go bad on both of you guys.
Wait, but what does that have to do with the insurance on the patrol vehicle? I don't get that.
Well, because we're not insured to have other passengers. I'm not sure.
Oh, it's a passenger thing. So it's not about who was driving the vehicle. It was driving. Okay.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to say that policy is against most policy that I know of all companies, including yours. You just don't look good, because even if you had cameras or not, I mean, it's just a protection of the company and yourself, because it can go wrong and they can make a false allegation. It's going to be your word against hers or his or whatever.
Right. Yeah, so as a company vehicle, only employees should be in the vehicle. Right.
Man, you should have seen all these pretty girls that I wish I could pick up, but I have to keep my business straight.
Oh yeah. The university's, you know, terrible for that. You know, like and they're all, you know, in their 20s, and yeah, it's just whatever.
Yeah. If I don't want to agree with this ugly guy, anyway. Probably Sonny.
Oh shit.
That's an inside joke everybody wants to know.
Yeah. Well, I guess I gotta head down to this fucking liquor store before it closes. They close early around here. So, kill off the stream and probably bid you adieu, Roy.
Well, you have a great night, and I hope you can resolve your vehicle issue, and I'll look for you on the flip side, okay?
All right. Thank you, brother. Have safe shift, man.
All the YouTubers or whoever, have a good night.
And there you have it. Another successful edition of the Trusty Ape Podcast, run by me, Kevin Chaos, also known as the Ape. Thank you to everybody for coming by. We got Carol K, Ox, and Godless Sewing. No apologies. Silver Wolf, Joe Day. Who else was back there? Halsey was back there. If I forgot anybody in the side chat, I'm sorry, but you know, whatever. It's my brain on drugs. Much love to everyone. Be well, stay trusty, and have a beautiful evening. And we'll see you on the next one.